Okay, so what you see here are 3 different types of tapes and 3 different types of glues. In general, the strongest are over here. This is medium strength. This is the weakest right here. We are actually not going to be doing in this tutorial anything with the super glue. This is a very strong glue. It can be a little dangerous depending on how you use it, but we're not going to be doing anything with that. And the duct tape as well, we're not going to be doing anything with the duct tape. We're actually going to be focusing on these 4 right here. All right, now starting with the tape, the masking tape and the Scotch tape are both very similar in terms of their stickiness. Sometimes a good Scotch tape can be stickier than masking tape. The advantage of the masking tape, however, is that it is larger and easier to use, easier to find, to peel, and if you don't want to cut it like so, it is also easier to tear, because with masking tape, if you pinch it anywhere you want, pinch it nice and tight and just tear, it comes apart very easily. Scotch tape, not so much. This is pretty good for cardboard projects. This is really good for just regular paper projects, but you can do them in whichever way you want. Okay, now the Scotch tape, one thing that is really silly sometimes, and probably a lot of you struggle with, is trying to find where it is. If you're not lucky enough to have a dispenser, you're going to sit here looking for it, and I think I found it. There it is. But it's kind of a pain, right? So a little trick when you use and you're done with it is to make a little fold on the end of the tape, like that. That way when it goes back onto the tape dispenser, that edge is always there. It can't stick, and so it's really easy to find. Another cool trick with tape, and this works with masking tape as well, is if you need a lot of little pieces, instead of sitting here and cutting and then putting it on the edge of your table, which is a good place to put it while you wait or store it and do all that over again, then check this out. Put it on the edge of your table, grab your scissors, cut, use your table as a sticking surface for it, pull away from it, and you can make lots of little small pieces. With Scotch tape too, in general, it's better and easier to use small pieces than try to use a large piece. For example, if I wanted to use a really large piece, sometimes I see students do this and they pull it and they're like, oh, and this happens right here, right? So try to avoid long pieces. If you absolutely have to use a long piece, that's fine. But when you're ready to tear, you're actually pulling down and away. So like this, and then it tears very nicely and very easily. And then go ahead and put that on the side of your table so it's ready for you to use. Okay? All right, that's it with the tape. With the glues, okay? Glue stick is definitely the easiest to use. To use it, just make sure that a little bit is outside. You twist on the bottom, and then let's say I want to stick this edge to this edge. I'm just going to apply a nice thin coat. 1 swoop is all you need, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold that edge up against this edge, and I'm going to hold it there. Okay, hold it there for a few seconds, put some pressure on it, and that's good. Now it might take a little bit longer for it to fully dry, but it's pretty good. The issue with the stick glue is that it is not the strongest bond. So if I really wanted to, I could kind of pull this apart, right? And it doesn't stick super well. Other thing too is it can get kind of messy if when you're gluing things, you go past the paper and then you end up putting glue all over your table, and then you get other stuff on there, and then you get glue on your hands, and so it gets a little messy. So when you use it, try to keep it on top of the paper, okay? Now this glue can definitely get messy, and what I see students do sometimes is they'll squeeze it and put a big glob like that on the paper, and then they try to fold it. Let me put something underneath here so it doesn't get too messy. They try to fold it, and then they go in here and they fold it, and then it starts oozing out the sides, and it's really messy, and the paper gets wet because there's too much glue, right? So with the liquid glue, you just really you don't need a whole lot. A little bit goes a long way. Okay, so this much right here, is all I need if I want to glue that tab right there. And notice I press down, no glue is oozing. Now this glue takes a little bit longer to dry than the stick glue, but once it's dry, sometimes what you can do is put a heavy object on top of it to make sure it's there's pressure on it, and then you're good to go. You can use it, it'll be a much stronger bond than the stick glue. Easier to use, a little less messy, not as strong. A little bit harder to use, definitely messier, but stronger. All right, that's our little tutorial on tapes and glues.